Ever get that, like, super annoying eye twitch? The one that just won't quit?
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling.
Or maybe you're like me and just crave chocolate constantly.
Uh-huh.
You know, like that feeling where you just have to devour the whole bar.
Oh, yeah.
Well, get this.
Okay.
What if I told you both of those things, like the eye twitch and the chocolate cravings,
Mm-hmm.
could actually be signs of something deeper going on?
Ooh, interesting.
Like something missing in your body.
Okay, I'm listening.
Today, we're diving deep into the world of magnesium.
Magnesium, okay.
This mineral is absolutely essential. It impacts almost every single function in our body. And guess what?
What?
Most of us aren't getting enough.
Really? Wow. I'm definitely intrigued. So tell me more about this deep dive. What are we going to uncover today?
Today, we're going to answer some pretty big questions like, is it true that we're all deficient in magnesium?
Okay, yeah, that's a big one.
And what does magnesium actually do in the body?
Right. Because I feel like we hear about it all the time, but I don't really know that much about it.
Exactly. So to help us unpack all of this, we have a fantastic expert with us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to dive in.
All right, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is magnesium?
So magnesium is actually a metal, believe it or not.
Wait, really? A metal?
Yep, it's the 8th most abundant element on Earth.
Wow, I never would have guessed. Okay, so it's a metal, but it's also essential for life.
Exactly. For us humans, it's a mineral that our bodies absolutely need to function. I mean, we literally can't live without it.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So it's clearly important, but then why are so many of us deficient in it?
Well, you know, our modern lifestyles play a big role, unfortunately.
How so?
Well, think about it. We eat a lot of processed foods.
Yeah, definitely guilty of that.
And then you've got the issue of depleted soil from intensive agriculture.
Oh, right.
And even things like chronic stress can deplete our magnesium levels.
So basically, our 21st century lives are kind of working against us when it comes to magnesium.
Pretty much, yeah.
Man, no wonder we're all feeling the effects. Speaking of which, what actually happens when we don't get enough magnesium?
Well, like you mentioned earlier, those eye twitches, that's a classic sign.
Ah, so that's what that is.
Yep. You can also get muscle cramps, fatigue, trouble sleeping, even mood swings.
Wow, okay. So it's not just physical stuff. It can affect our mental health too.
Absolutely. And if it goes on for too long without being addressed, it can increase the risk of even more serious issues.
Like what?
Things like heart disease and osteoporosis.
Okay, wow. Those are some pretty serious consequences. So before we all start panicking, where can we get more magnesium naturally?
The good news is that nature provides plenty of sources, and some of them might surprise you.
Oh, like what?
Well, leafy greens like spinach and kale are great sources.
Okay, makes sense.
Almonds, pumpkin seeds, even dark chocolate.
Wait, seriously, so my chocolate cravings are actually good for me?
Well, in moderation, of course. But hey, maybe your body's trying to tell you something.
All right, I like the sound of that. But what if we're doing all that, eating our greens and our dark chocolate,
Yeah.
and we still feel like we need a little extra boost? What's the deal with all the different magnesium supplements out there?
Yeah, that's where things can get a bit confusing.
For sure.
You'll see magnesium citrate, glycinate, oxide, chloride. So it's a whole alphabet soup of magnesium.
Right, it's overwhelming.
It is. And they all have their pros and cons.
Okay, so break it down for us. What are some of the key differences?
Well, for example, magnesium citrate is a good all-rounder, and it can be helpful for constipation.
Good to know.
Then you have magnesium glycinate, which is known for being calming and might help with sleep.
Ooh, that one sounds good.
Right. And there's magnesium chloride, which you often find in topical applications like bath salts or lotions.
Wait, like a magnesium bath bomb?
Exactly. It can be really soothing for sore muscles.
So that's a real thing. Amazing.
It is. But you know, with all supplements, it's always a good idea to talk to your doctor.
Yeah, that makes sense. Figure out what's right for you.
Exactly. They can help you figure out which type and dosage is best for your individual needs.
Okay, so now I want to get into what magnesium actually does in the body. You mentioned earlier that it's involved in hundreds of processes.
It is.
So let's focus on a few key areas. What are some of the most important things magnesium does for us?
Okay, well, let's start with bone health. Magnesium and calcium, they're like the dynamic duo when it comes to strong bones.
Okay, I've heard that before.
And they work even better when you add in vitamins D3 and K2, which help your body absorb and utilize them properly.
Got it. So it's all about teamwork.
Exactly. Now, magnesium is also a natural muscle relaxant.
Ooh, interesting.
Think about those bananas you eat for leg cramps.
So that's the science behind that old wives' tale.
Exactly. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Magnesium also plays a role in mood regulation, possibly by influencing neurotransmitters in the brain.
So it really does impact mental health too.
It does. And some studies suggest it can even improve sleep quality.
Okay, but I thought taking magnesium before bed was supposed to be bad.
It depends on the type and how much you take. Too much too close to bedtime might have the opposite effect.
Ah, okay, good to know. So magnesium,
Okay.
it's good for bones, muscles, moods, sleep. It's like a multivitamin in one element. But how much do we actually need?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And it really does vary depending on your age, gender, and life stage.
Right, makes sense.
But generally speaking, adult men need around 400, 420 milligrams per day, while women need about 310, 320 milligrams.
Okay, and what about during pregnancy or breastfeeding?
Those are times when your needs increase. But to be totally honest, the best thing to do is talk to your doctor.
Yeah, get personalized advice.
Exactly. They can help you determine the right amount for you.
Great advice. So we've covered a lot today about magnesium. What's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this deep dive?
Pay attention to your body.
What do you mean?
Those little signals, the eye twitches, the cravings, the fatigue,
Right.
those might be your body's way of saying, hey, I need more magnesium.
Interesting. So those cravings might actually be leading you to a delicious piece of dark chocolate.
Exactly.
Well, that's it for our magnesium deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and helpful. Don't forget to check out the show notes for more resources and tips on how to make sure you're getting enough magnesium. Until next time.
Bye, everyone.